Welcome everybody. I am at the Rattlesnake Museum Zoo. I'm going to take you around and show you up close. We can get very close to these amazing animals. Lots of dangerous, beautiful snakes in here. I hope you enjoy it.
It's a number. It's a black number. There's a piece of coil just around between the roof and the wall there. We know that numbers are very, very poisonous. And it does bite us. We're quite far from a hospital now. So we've got to be really, really careful. If you just stay the furthest corner away from me there, just out of my way, I'm going to bring it down and just get it straight across the outside and then deal with it, get it into the bag. It's interesting that the snake doesn't just come out attacking, but at this stage, having it like this,
or they appear on their manners. In fact, what they have is an eyelid that has fused and covered the eye itself. And that fused eyelid becomes clear, and it's called the spectacle. And the spectacle.
But it's actually a scale.
No, it's actually the eyelid.
It's shed when they shed
And it's shed when they shed their skin. Now, these animals do have a nose, but probably they're not actually smelling the nose. They're probably smelling, from what we know about snakes, with the tongue. By waving the tongue in the air, we're picking up chemicals, just like we pick them up.
really large, and the monster that includes all the biggest natural predators a lot of misconceptions about this. A lot of people think that just sometimes they couldn't find an escape. They couldn't actually even get up and where the door was right down there. They couldn't push past there. But I think maybe should carry on looking. The tools have time, and these walls are pretty rough, I forgot. Check out. Yeah.
To hunt big prey.
Northern Pacific rattlesnake.
It's easy to see why locals call the dragon a land crocodile. But despite its size and bruising appearance, there is one part of the dragon that is nowhere near as strong as a crocodile's. Its head.
You look at the skull, it's actually quite small relative to that massive body. And that's because I need a very lightweight skull.
And its killer bite. Brian Fry's colleague, Stephen Rowe, has examined the skulls of many top predators. He's created a computer model of a skull based on a real dragon.
In this case, we were fortunate enough to have a whole specimen of the Komodo dragon, and we're able to actually dissect the muscles out and come up with estimates for the cross-sectional area of the individual muscles. So that allows us to get a pretty good estimate for the sort of forces that this animal would have to apply.
Good, how are you?
By recreating how a dragon...
But at the lowest estimate, 50,000 people die each year. South Africa, Donald Strider is answering an emergency call.
This part of South Africa, they have a lot of venomous snakes. People are active.
But just because they eat and carry out another dead prey, it does mean that they're not very skillful in this.
The way your legs monitor this today gives us an idea of how we want to imagine the capture a hunter prey needed to do. The lace monitor is an agile machine. Its long claws allow it to grip smooth flesh.
It's a mamba. It's a black mamba. There's a piece of coil just around between the roof and the wall there. We know that mambas are very, very poisonous. I mean, this bites us. We're quite far from a hospital now. So we've got to be really, really careful. If you just stay the furthest corner away from me there, just out of my way, I'm going to bring it down and just get it straight past you outside and then deal with it, get into the back. And then safe to go back in again.
Housewives in
Here is a timber rattlesnake
as well.
with a shed.
Have also made a profession out of removal. He's not going to let this cobra go free. For hundreds.
Their first instinct is to climb upwards and out of the nest. These first few moments in their lives are perhaps the most dangerous. It takes less than a minute for the lizard to devour the baby possums inside the nest.
Here is a Mexican rattlesnake.
What I have here is Megalania. This is the largest lizard to have ever lived. It's about 5 meters long, maybe even getting to 6 meters. So it's an absolute monster of an animal. Found in Australia, lived between about 500,000 years ago and 50,000 years.
As well as the giant Megalania fossils, Scott has found evidence of another large lizard, not as and its killer bite. Ryan Fry's colleague, Stephen Rowe, has examined the skulls of many top predators. He's created a computer model of a skull based on a real dragon.
In this case, we were fortunate enough to have a whole specimen of the Komodo dragon, and we're able to actually dissect the muscles out and come up with estimates for the cross-sectional area of the individual muscles. So that allows us to get a pretty good estimate for the sort of forces that this animal is going to apply.
Good, how are you?
By recreating how a dragon
Here is a collection of the biggest crocodile skulls in the world.
Onto a large part of your body. Most people think that the worm slung can only latch onto your earlobe or small finger. But as you can see,
This
here,
is almost
this is not true. You know, the whole head
a
of the snake
5.5 foot long head.
by its mouth. And they can open that mouth up to about 120 degrees. And with the mouth that wide
Super
open,
croc.
they could very easily bite you on the flat of your hand or the top of your leg, wherever it pleases. If you were bitten by the snake, you would literally bleed to death.
But just because they eat and carry out another dead prey, it does mean that they're not
The laser monitor is its long claws allow it to grip the smooth flesh. Create a sperm substitute, enabling her to fertilize her own eggs. For stranded dragons, it's a regular part of their desert island survival.
Felded rattlesnake from Mexico in the southwest.
After almost 8 months of incubation,
here is the biggest collection of crocodilian skulls. Here is the biggest collection of crocodilian skulls.
Grown. So what that shows is that it was a completely different species. Now when we compare the bones of this animal to all of the living
Here is an
extinct
eastern
spines of lizards, all different
diamondback, a
species,
huge guy.
what we see is it's very much the same as a Komodo dragon. In fact, it's so similar, it's the same species. So this is concrete evidence that in Australia, Komodos existed, they lived 4 million years ago, and it's most likely that they originated here.
because of their size. To catch big prey, it helped to be a big predator. The standard body shape of a regular monitor lizard became supersized. The Komodo dragon was one of the most successful of these giants, evolving from a smaller ancestor into a giant predator. Today, Australia is no longer home to the central Indonesian islands. By swimming. For a 3-meter-long animal weighing 100 kilos, the dragon is a very good swimmer, able to cross deep water channels. The first migrant dragons that reached these central Indonesian islands would have been empowered here, so that meant no competition for food. But for every castaway washing up on a beach, there is the possibility it will spend the rest of its life alone. So how did these Robinson Crusoes of the dragon world actually establish a population on these islands?
This is a rare red diamond rattlesnake from Baja, California.
And so the animals actually have a set of spots that are their infrared detectors.
It's almost like having an inbuilt thermal imaging camera. So what they're going to say is, so if they can prey on in front of them and say here, they may not be able to visually see it, but actually they'll be able to sense the temperature of that animal compared to its surroundings.
That's
It
right.
says this is potential prey item. Hyper vision is poor.
It then pulls back, and in doing so, it basically uses a can opening motion. So it's using leverage around its body instead of just its jaws. That helps drive the teeth in and cause major damage. So it's not the jaw muscles themselves that are doing the serious damage here. It's the very powerful forearms and shoulders that are really driving.
5% of them don't even survive the first contact. The majority of them will die immediately, some will last 3 or 4 hours, but only 10% of a natural prey item will survive the initial attack. Those are the kind of numbers the lion would like to have.
Feels good.
The fact that these giant lizards are able to kill so quickly and efficiently makes living alongside them a little worrying.
Along here, the people who live in this is the diet because of the bacteria.
Here in Rincha, with the local villagers, they quite widely fear the dragons because the dragons have killed villagers, and there's also a big economic impact where they're regularly taking goats and other livestock. It is interesting, though, that people believe things about the dragons that just can't be accurate. For example, one person was bitten, bled heavily, but he recovered. They blamed it on his dragon bite. Now, we don't know what he actually died from, but there's no way that that's the dragon bite.
Infection is a word you often hear when people talk about dragons. Death by infection through a dragon bite is an idea that has been around for 30 years.
Here we have a western hognose snake next to his water. It's hot. It's 100 degrees to get today in the desert.
Realistically, if you told me but just because they eat and carry another dead prey doesn't mean they're not very skillful.
The way you lace monitor listing days gives us an idea of how long one would make a capture a 100 prey meters a year. The lace monitor is agile. Its long claws allow it to grip smooth flesh.
Surprisingly common, yet all can encourage snake trouble. Wood piles provide shelter for snakes, and trash attracts rats. What better prey is there here in Africa for a black mamba? 6 feet of powerful hunter, it haunts
Just below the knee with one fang. I then lasted exactly 30 minutes at Lawrence Place, very quick, and then he took over and drove me down to the hospital, where we were fortunate in finding a doctor on duty, and 30 minutes after the bite, I said to him, I cannot exhale anymore, and he said at the same time, which I didn't hear, his heart has stopped as well. So in effect, I was dead at that time.
Cutest little Great Plains snake.
Bill Haast in Florida is the kind of person to whom Tony Morgan owes.
I just completed the tour at the Rattlesnake Zoo Museum in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Watch this video over and over again. You're going to see up close with snakes you will never see anywhere else. Hope you enjoyed it.